Hello. I see one person is watching. Um, it's Friday. There's CJ. Oh, they're all chiming in now. Running late, aren't we? That moon is a killer, isn't it? We're a day past the full moon, I think. Um, that definitely affects our sleeping, so not to worry. Good day, Denise. Um, Today is Friday, the 14th, 2024. And make sure you give your loved ones a hug today. Not sure what the story is on Valentine, but anyway, we're going to continue with the straw man information to try and clarify it a little bit more, try to make it a little bit more understandable and how it works, how it applies in the world today, and how they trick us or try to trick us. Well, they have succeeded in tricking us or inducing us to accept the responsibility of that artificial entity, that deception. We should call it the deception. And the most important point is to always bring it to the Catholic perspective and realize that it's a corrupt system that needs to be gotten rid of. Even though it's been around 100 or more years, getting close to 100 years, I think, 1933. Yeah, so it's time to get rid of that and to work in honest endeavors. It's really interesting to see, though, how many people and again, it's you grow up with things as they appear to be to you, and you just accept them. If you constantly question and look at things and ask why, it kind of helps you to discern a little bit better. Not necessarily to judge right off the bat, but just say why. And then you'll start to see, as you choose the more difficult things in life that you know are truthful, you gain more and more insight. So if you all could pray for Blaine for me, I'm going to start introducing him to the website. He's been helping me with this credit yourself, give credit to yourself, and the Novation, and he's a good coach for that. Now it's time, I think, for me to bring him to a higher level of understanding with regards to the Most Holy Trinity. All right, where's my hair going? All right, so let's get started with Good Day Rising prayers, and then we'll get into it a little bit more. Getting near the end. In nomine Dei, Matronam Nostra, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Let us place ourselves in the presence of the Most Holy Trinity, and in Catholic contemplation, humbly venerate the Divine Family. Most Holy and Venerable Holy Trinity, one Divine Family, I believe that Thou art here present. I venerate Thee with the deepest humility. I render to Thee with my whole heart the homage which is due to Thee. O Most Holy Trinity, I firmly believe that Thou art one Divine Family, consisting of Dea Matronam Nostra, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. And relying on Thine infinite goodness and promises, I hope to obtain pardon of my sins, the help of Thy grace and life everlasting, through the merits of Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Matronam Nostrae. O Most Holy Trinity, I love Thee above all things with my whole heart and soul, because Thou art all good and worthy of all love. I love my neighbor as myself for love of Thee, and I forgive all who have injured me and ask pardon of all whom I have injured. Let us thank the Most Holy Trinity for the many graces that we receive and offer ourselves and our sufferings up to heaven and for the souls in purgatory. O most holy Trinity, I most humbly thank thee for all the favors thou hast bestowed upon me to the present moment. It is again thanks to thy bounty that I should live to see this day, and I desire to employ it solely in thy service. I consecrate to thee all my thoughts, words, actions, and sufferings of this day. Sanctify them, that there may be none that is not animated by thy love, or that would not tend to thy greater glory. Let us make a firm resolution to avoid evil and to do good, and let us beg of the most holy Trinity the graces which are necessary to us. O most holy Trinity, thou knowest my weakness, and that I am unable to do anything good without the help of thy grace. Deny me not thy grace, proportionate to my necessities. Give me strength to avoid everything which thou forbiddest, to practice the good which thou hast commanded, and enable me patiently to bear all the trials which it may please thee to send me. O Dei matronam nostrae, I place myself under thy protection. I throw myself with confidence into the arms of thy compassion. Be to me, O Mother of mercy, O Mother of God, my consolation in suffering, now and at the hour of my death, and my refuge in distress as well. O most holy Trinity, as envisioned by Saint Lucia as the most holy Trinitarian Theophany, Deum matronam nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, I am heartily sorry for having offended thee, and I detest all my sins, because I dread the loss of heaven and the pains of hell, but most of all because I have offended thee, O most holy Trinity, who are all good and deserving of all my love. I firmly resolve with the help of thy grace to confess my sins, to do penance, and to amend my life. In nomine Deum matronam nostrae, Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. I was watching a movie the other day, and one of the advice that was given to the younger man was no man is an island, and I was contemplating on that, and it takes a very special person to be an island, and I know that all of you who watch are an island in a sense, but you also have family and friends. And I just want to say thank you too for all of your prayers for Maria. She just informed me that things are going really well for her, and your prayers to assist her to get over that spot that she was in. She's getting a new apartment, and people are helping her left and right, and she's getting away from that area that she was in, which I knew was bad. So, yeah, isolation is good for a time. Some people are called to be more isolated longer than others, and some are not called at all. But it was interesting, just these little things that it's good to contemplate on a phrase that catches your ear. It helps with the discernment process. Okay, so we've mentioned legal fiction and fiction of law. The distinction between a man and a person is a difficult concept to grasp, but a proper understanding of the relationship between the government, the man, and the straw man is essential to gaining increased freedom, at least temporarily. While the concept of these relationships is very simple, there are some foundational principles that must be explored. We have mentioned that the straw man is an artificial entity or person, but there are several types of organizations or artificial entities. There are corporation souls, aggregate corporations, municipal corporations, revocable living trusts, SOL, S-O-L-E, and unincorporated business organizations. Many people use these entities for various reasons, including maintaining personal control over their assets, protection from lawsuits and judgments, avoidance of probate, avoidance of estate taxes, reduction in tax liability, and many other reasons. and I'm going to stop here and interject. And if you look at each one of those things, you know, they all could be eliminated with the Catholic monarchy and a sound system of simple law. If you eliminate, it's so funny how we complicate things, and then you got law book after law book after law book. I always like to go back to the root cause of the issue, okay, and it's always sin. We will look into the difference between a sole entity and an aggregate entity. In all organizations, there are two basic operational positions: the chief executive officer and the stockholder. The CEO is the governing position. The stockholder, owner, or beneficiary is the beneficiary position. A sole corporation, S-O-L-E, corporation, as defined by Black's law, is one consisting of one person only and his successors in some particular station who are incorporated by law in order to give them some legal capacities and advantages, particularly that of perpetuity, which in their natural state as persons they could not have. Okay, so things can go on after your death is what they're saying. So what you've developed can continue on. In a corporation's sole, one person holds both operational positions of the organization. Maybe that's not good. Okay, because maybe accumulation of wealth, which is their intention with having them live beyond their life, maybe that isn't a good thing. A corporation's sole may be established under legislative authority. It is considered by statute to be a citizen of the government, okay, because it's a creation. I'm going to kind of like jump around in here and just pick out things that I like to read to you. An aggregate corporation, such as a corporation or business trust, according to Black's law, is composed of a number of individuals vested with limited liability corporate powers. With an aggregate organization, different parties must hold the governing and beneficiary positions. If the same party holds them, they are a corporate sole. Family members are always counted as one party. Therefore, it would be a corporate sole organization. Okay, interesting. The founder of the wealthy Rockefeller family once said that one of his secrets to wealth was to own nothing but control everything. And I know you've heard that before. Own nothing but control everything. In other words, always function from an aggregate relationship as the beneficiary. Do not own the straw man. Control the straw man. If you are not the owner of the straw man, you are not liable for his debts or obligations. If you are in control, you have the highest lien hold interest on the straw man, and you must be paid before anyone else collects from the straw man. Okay, you have the highest lien hold interest. We discussed that a couple of days ago. And you cannot go to jail or prison for his wrongdoing. So don't do it. A look at the structure of the straw man entity shows the ownership control relationship and which position it is best to hold. And again, I say that it's easier said than done, but once you grasp that relationship, that it's all in your mind, that you think you are something that you're not. So it's important to learn who you are. Commercial redemption is a term used among freedom-loving people to describe the process of remaining control of one's straw man. Prior to the commercial process of redemption, CPR, the man was considered both a beneficiary and surety for the straw man. Now, I want to make something very clear. This is not sovereign citizen process or anything like that. Okay? Sovereign citizen is an oxymoron. You either are one or the other. You cannot be both. Okay? So if anybody puts that label on you, try to educate them. Okay? And you know, that's the biggest problem, is a lot of law enforcement is uneducated, and they just need some basic education in this in order to get over that. After commercial redemption, the man is seen to be a beneficiary, but no longer the surety for the straw man. And I was looking, I'm interjecting here, that's looking through, okay, well, where does it show how, you know, before the commercial process of redemption, it sounds like you have to do something before you can start doing something, and that's not the case. It's really, the commercial redemption is in the understanding of the difference between yourself, the man, and the straw man, the artificial entity, and the relationship, and how you control the straw man. Okay. So after commercial redemption, the man is the controller and creditor, holding the highest lien hold interest in the straw man. The man is now in an aggregate relationship with the straw man. He does not own the straw man, but he benefits from and controls the straw man by his primary lien hold interest. In this country, power was granted to the government by the people individually to create the states, and by the people as a whole to create the national government. Once the people decided individually to create the state, they can only change the policy or laws of the state as people collectively, because they have agreed to become part of the public. They are but one person in a larger body of people that act collectively. The people are in both the state government and national government at the same time, dual citizenship. The public government is an artificial entity. The government is owned and controlled by the same people. So the government is a sole organization, not an aggregate organization. As long as a man is dealing publicly, he is in a sole relationship with the public. The straw man, being artificial, lives in the artificial Wizard of Oz place called the public. Now, the people did not give up any of the rights that they did not delegate to the government. They retained those rights. A man can contract privately as he sees fit, or contract. The government cannot interfere with the private contracts of men. The straw man lives in the public side of government. He is part of the public government and functions under the laws of the public, not the republic. Once the straw man has been commercially redeemed, the government is no longer in control of the straw man. The straw man is now controlled by the man using his private right to make contracts. The man has left the public as a surety and sole relationship to the straw man to live privately as creditor beneficiary in an aggregate relationship with the straw man. All right, so there is actually a redemption process. And I got to think of the name of it. It's the credit, it's the UCC financing statement that you send to the state, credit redemption process. And you're basically noticing then that you, the man, are now the beneficiary, and your straw man is a transmitting utility. I just remember that. So there is a process. Nobody ever asks for it when you utilize the process. As far as when you start to deal with using the redemption, Nobody has ever asked me for that. So it's just an official statement that's recorded on file. As far as this relationship is concerned, the straw man is privately controlled. All right, so that's the main thing that you want to accomplish here is that you make notice that you're controlling it privately. And then what you have is, again, a security agreement between yourself and the straw man, okay, on paper and kept on your person. And again, nobody's ever asked me for my security agreement, but it basically lays out that anything and everything that the straw man does, I control. They have an obligation to me first. Now, when the problem began in 1933, when they went bankrupt, the governors of all the states met to discuss what they should do. They pledged to fund the bankruptcy. They pledged the assets and commercial energy of the people in the states to the federal government. They promised to back the federal government and secure the federal national debt. But there was one problem. The governors of the states could only speak for the people in their public capacity. They could not pledge private living human beings and their private property. So it was necessary to create a bridge between the living people and the creditors of the bankruptcy. And the answer was to create the straw man, public utilities to stand in place of the people. Then, the only problem rested in devising a scheme whereby the people could be induced to voluntarily agree to contract with the straw man as its surety. And if you tell a lie often enough, people believe it to be true. When the governors made the pledge, they agreed to register the application form for the birth certificates of the people with the U.S. Department of Commerce. The application form for the birth certificate is the security instrument used as the collateral to back the pledge. The straw man, the legal fiction, was created by using the name on the birth certificate and writing it in all capitalized letters. The designation for a legal fiction or the name of the vessel, ship, or boat. Then, because of the pledge, the people were devised to be the accommodation party, representative, and surety for the legal fiction. This is how they made us responsible to pay back the national debt, the debt of the bankrupt United States. Because the entire thing is based on paying off the bankruptcy of the United States, the straw man is the debtor. And the government is the agent for the creditors. Okay, so this is the most important part here that I need you to grasp. The straw man owes, because it was pledged, owes the bank for the United States bankruptcy. Okay, the debtor, that's the straw man. The government is the agent for the creditors. Okay, so the government, the agent. The IRS. Okay, who are the international bankers who own the Federal Reserve. You must realize that the debt is not your debt personally. It is your straw man's debt. You have been functioning as a voluntary representative for a Sestake trust account, your straw man. By discharging your straw man's bills with fiat money instead of paying them with your mutual offset credit exemption exchange. Okay, so that's how they did it. By us using the Federal Reserve notes, they tricked us into voluntarily agreeing to be the debtor. Okay, when it's all apart from us. When you established your first checking account, you unknowingly accepted this relationship with the trust that the government established in your name. You have not had control of this trust because you have never claimed it, and your parents could not control it for you because they were wards of the state like you. The system maintains this illusion by artifice and deceptive design. My point from the beginning, deception. Look at your checkbook. Your name is in all caps, named business corporation, that the bank presumes you to be. Okay, if you look at your checkbook, again, you'll see it's all capitalized letters. A clue to that presumption is in the line on your checks over which you sign your name. This is when I first learned about this, I was shocked. I didn't understand what it meant at the time, but now I do. So the line on the checks over which you sign your name. So down in the, okay, if you're looking this way, it's that lower right-hand corner where you sign your name. The microprint signature line. It's called a microprint signature line. And it's not just a line. It's printed words, some of the finest printing you will ever encounter. So if you get a magnifying glass, get your check out and look at that line, you'll be amazed to see what that line actually says. It says something like authorized representative, authorized representative, authorized representative, authorized representative, over and over to make the line. But it's so small that it just looks like a line. But you can tell there's a little difference to it when you compare it to the other lines on the check. But you never really paid attention to it. In the corporate world, only the authorized representative of a corporation has the authority to sign corporate checks. So you, the human being, have been given the authority to sign the checks of your money trust, an incorporated fiction. All right, so there we have, let me look to see where I'm at. I think I'm over it. Yeah. So that's very, very telling right there. All right. Yeah, tomorrow we'll get into some meat and potatoes about promissory notes, which is extremely important. And we really have to teach the corporations who are in existence now that they are obligated to accept promissory notes. They cannot define what type of payment they want if they're a corporation. If they're private, then it's different. All right, let's begin Mass. Let's see who else is here. Check in. Hello, Sister Jeannie, NCW. Good to see you. Thank you. I think we're getting close. About 15 more subscribers till we get to 500. So if you haven't subscribed yet and you watch regularly, please do. Deum vobiscum et quoque te. Oremus. O most Holy Trinity, the Creator and Redeemer of all the faithful, grant to the souls of thy servants and handmaids the remission of all their sins, that they may obtain by loving prayers the forgiveness which they have always desired, who livest and reignest with thee, one divine family, forever and ever. Suscipe Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, Hanc Immaculatum Hostium, quam ego indignius famulos tuus oferi tibi Deum meum vivum et verum, pro innumerabilibus peccatis et offensionibus et negligentis meis, et pro omnibus circumstantibus, sed et pro omnibus fidelibus catholicorum vivis atque defunctis ut mihi et idis proficiat salutem. Deum qui cum noi substantia dignitatem mirabilitu condidisiet mirabilis reformaster de nobis peruis atque tu venim in stadium, eis divinitatis esse consortis criminitatis nostrae, fieri dignatis est patriceps Deum Iesum Christum Filium, qui tecum vivit et reinat, in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Offerimus tibi Deum calicem salutaris tuum deprecantis clementium, ut aspectu divinae, majestatis tuae pro nostra totius mundus salute, cum odore suavitatis ascendat. In spiritu humilitatis et in animo contrito, suscipiam rota de Iesusum Christum et fiat sacrificium nostrum et aspectu tu hodie, ut placeat tibi Deum matronam nostra et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Veni sanctificator, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, et sanctificite plata pro secundo, et accepere hoc sacrificium tua sanctum nomini praeparatum. Suscipe Sancta Trinitas concoblationem cum tibi afferimus a memoriam passionis, resurrectionis et ascensionis Deum Iesusum Christum, et in honorem Deum matronam nostra et Papa Peter Sanctorum, et Istorum et omnium Sanctorum, ut idis proficiet ad honorem nobis audam et salutem, et idi pro nobis intercede de in caelis, quorum memoriam agimus in tedis per Deum Christum Deum nostrum. Orate ut meam equestrum sacrificium acceptabile fiat per Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Suscipia Deum Iesum Christum, sacrificium de manibus tuis et laudam et gloriam nomini sui, ad utiditatem quoque nostrum totiusque, ecclesiae suae sanctae. Deum obiscum, quoque pote, sursum corda habemus a Deum, gratias agamus Deum nostrum, dignum et justum est. Te ige doc clementissimi Mater Pater, Deum Maternam nostrae, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per Deum Iesum Christum Filium Tuum, Deum nostrae, supplices, rogamus ac petimus, uti accepta habeas, et sanctificas, haec sanctam sacrificium ilibata. In primis quae tibi afferimus pro ecclesiam tuam sanctam catholicam, quam pacificare custodire ad honore et regere dinedis toto orbi terrarum atque catholicae. Memento Deum famorum catorum. We pray for the sick and the suffering. We especially pray for Katie, Gage, RM, Neil Monroe Lively, Maria Josephina Mose, Letitia, Mindy, Clarette, Mark Jr., Henry, Barbara, and Benedict Santa Croce, Robert Dosco Sr. and Jr., Mr. Nobody, Luis Antonio Cantu and the Cantu and Duarte families, Michaela McLarnon and family, Sarah and Becky, Jenna, Lena, Lori, Aaron and family, Maria and the Line River family, the Dosco Nye, Tafur, Kane, Wolf, Vegan families, and Alex Tafur on his birthday today. We pray for Mr. Nobody to receive the funding and strength needed to complete the first Sede Vacantis Catholic Council Office and Monastery of Illinois. We pray for an end to all governmental allowance or sanctioning of abortion, transgenderism, transhumanism, child trafficking, child abuse of any kind, anywhere, place, or time. We pray for the establishment of a Catholic monarchy with a sound Catholic system of labor, human value, and medium of exchange with no usury. We pray for courageous men to step forward as leaders of this Catholic society, to choose what is right and not be influenced by the world in fear. We ask you to destroy the satanic document of Vatican law that is the Jewish Talmud, that you destroy Rome and the Vatican and recognize the authority of the Catholic Church to be in Fatima, Portugal. We ask you to continue to educate all people on the deceptiveness and lies of most of the government organizations. Let them not be fooled. All this we ask in accordance with the Holy Trinity's divine will. Et omnium circumstantium quorum tibi fides cognit est et nota devotio pro quibus tibi afferimus, veruque tibi affero hoc sacrificium laudis, pro se suisque omnibus, pro redemptione anamarum suarum, postque salutis et calamitatis suae, tibi redont vota sua, aeterno Deum vivo et vero. Communicantes et memoriam venerantes in primis gloriosae semper Deum maternam nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et beatorum martyrium tuorum Papa Sancti Petri, et Sancti Luci, et Sancti Jacinta, et Sancti Francisco, et Sancti Diego, et omnem sanctorum tuorum corum meditis praecibusque cancedas, ut in omnibus protectionis tuae monem exidio periendum Christum Deum nostrum, quam oblatione de Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum in omnibum, consecratum ac et tabdem perfecere digneris ut nobis corpum, et sanguinem fiat didictis mi filium tuum Deum Iesum Christum, qui pridie quam pateretur recepit panem in sanctus aquanabilis manus suas, et derivatis oculis in caelum aete Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum suum omnipotentem tibi gratias agens, consecravit frege didique lumis sui dicens accipite et manducat ex hoc omnes. Hoc est enim corpus meum. Simile modo postquam ceremonia est accipienser hunc precalum calicem et sanctus aquanabilis manus suas et in tibi gratias agens Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, consecrave dedique lumis sui dicens accipite et bibite ex omnes. Hic est enim calix sanguinis mei, mysterium fidei, quae pro nobis et pro multis effundetur in remissione peccatorum, aeque tescumque feceritis in me mono facitis. Unde et membres Deum nostro virtuis et plebs tua sancta justum Christum filium tuum Deum nostrae, tam beate passionis nec non et in fedis resurrectionis, sed et in caelos gloriosa ascensionis afferimus, praeclare maiestati tui de tuis donis actatis, supra quae propitio ac sereno vultur respicieri digneris. Supplices te ragamus Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum iube hec perfide per manus tuum, ut quod, ex hoc autaris participatione sacrosanctum Deum Filium tuum, corpus et sanguinem subsenimus, omni sanctificatione caevesia gratia Dei Palmer per Deum Christum Deum nostrae. We pray for those who have died. We especially pray for Anne Dosco, for whom this Mass is being offered. Ipsis Deum et omnibum in Christum quiscentibum locum refegeri lucis et pacis, ut andare gesta proclamor per Deum Christum Deum nostrum. Perquam hic omnia Deum Iesum Christum semper bona creas, sanctificas, vivibicas, consecratis et praestas nobis. Per ipsum et cum ipso et in ipso, est ibi Deum Matrum omnipotenti in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, omnis honor et gloria. Ave Dea, matronam nostrae, gratia plena Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum tecum, sanctam tuum in mulieribus, Dea matronam nostrae, materam Deum Iesum Christum, ora pro nobis peccatoribus nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. Libera nos quaesimus Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum abomnibus malis, praeteritis praesentibus et futuris, et intercedente beata gloriosa semper Deum matronam nostrae, cum Papa Petrum Sanctorum et omnibus sanctis da propitius pacem in diebus nostris. Ut ope misericordiae tuae aduiti et peccato, simus semper liberi et ab omni perturbatione securi. Per Deum nostrum, Iesum Christum Filium tuum Deum nostrum, qui tinguit et renat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per aeternam, pax Deum Iesum Christum sit semper vobiscum et quoque pote, haecum extio consecratio copris et sanguinis Deum Iesum Christum, fiat accipientibus nobis in et salutem aeternam. Pax tecum, et quoque apud te. Deum Iesum Christum, qui ex voluntate Deum matronam nostrae, qua parante Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per mortem tuam unum vivificasti. Libera me per hoc sacro sanctum corpus et sanguinum tuum ab omnibus iniquitatibus meis et universis malis. Et fac me tui semper inhalare mandatis, et atinum quam separare permittas. Qui cum eo adem Deum matronam nostrae et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum vivi serenam aeternam. Perché copris tui Deum Iesum Christum, quod ego indinius sumere praesumum non mihi proveniat in judicium et condemnationem, sed pro tu pietate prosit mihi ad tutamentum mentis et copris, et adame delam percipiendam qui vivi serenas cum Deum matronam nostrae, in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Panem celestem accipiem et nomen Deum Iesum Christum invocabo. Deum matronam nostrum non sundinius, ut et sotete meis in tanti quibus nabat anima mea. Deum Iesum Christum non sundinius, ut et sotete meis in tanti quibus nabat anima mea. Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum non sundinius, ut et sotete meum, sed tantum quibus nabat anima mea. Corpus Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima mea. Quid retubum Deum Iesum Christum pro omnibus quae retubut mihi, calicem saitatis accipiem et nomen Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum invocabo, laudans invocabo Deum matronam nostrae et ab inimicis meis avocero, sanguis Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima mea. Quod orisum sumus Deum Iesum Christum pudimete capiamus et immunere teparae fit nobis remedium sempiternum. Corpus tuum Deum Iesum Christum quod somsis sanguis quam potari et hediat visceribus meis apraesta, ut in me non remaniat scilla macula quam purat sancta reficerum sacramenta. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apud te, oremus. May the prayer of thy suppliants profit the souls of thy servants and handmaids. We beseech thee, O most holy Trinity, that thou mayest free them from all sins and make them sharers in thy redemption, who livest and reignest with thee, one divine family, forever and ever. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apotei, et demis est. Deum gratia. Gloria tibi sancta Trinitam, obsequium servitutis meae, et praesta, ut sacrificim coroculis tuae majestatis in minus obduri tibi sit acceptabile mihique et omnibus, pro quibus illud obduli sit te miserante propitiabile per Christum Deum nostrum. Sanctificat vos omnipotens Deum, Matronam et Filium et Spiritum Sanctum, Deum Matronam nostra et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. O most holy Trinity, I believe, I venerate, I hope, and I love thee. I beg of thee pardon for those who do not believe, do not venerate, do not hope, and do not love thee. Most holy Trinity, Deum Matronam Nostra, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, I venerate thee profoundly, and I offer to thee the most precious body, blood, soul, and divinity of God Jesus Christ, who was, is, and ever shall be, present here in reparation for the outrages, sacrileges, and indifference by which he himself is offended. And through the infinite merits of his most sacred heart and the immaculate heart of God, Our Lady, who was, is, and ever shall be, I beg of thee the conversion of poor sinners. In nomine Deum Matronam Nostra, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. That concludes our Mass today. Thank you for being here. Hello, Juan Carlos again. Thank you for being here. Hello, Greg. How are you? Yes, TDI. TDIF. Thank Deum. All right. What else? What parting word? What wisdom? What wise parting words do I have today? Enjoy your day. Be at peace, and pray about whether or not you need redemption. Well, we all need redemption. But there's spiritual redemption, soulful redemption, and then there's the bodily, monetary form that I'm showing now. And I've got lots of ideas. Let's see how they pan out. See if my brain can get wrapped around the rules, if you will. All right, please go and sanctify all those you meet. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Tomorrow is Saturday, so it'll be 8 a.m. Mass Eastern Time tomorrow. Take care.